Hello, friends. Happy holidays. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire, and for this week's video, I'm going to be doing a base game Christmas home built in Oasis Springs, and the rest of the information should be down in the description if you're interested on where to find it or how to download it and the value of the house. First, we're going to be starting this video off in the courtyard, and originally I thought this would be very easy for me to do, just slap down a few items, but I realized when I got into it, it's like, oh wait, I usually put these items in the backyard, and I know I'm gonna have a pool in the backyard, so like what should I have in this front courtyard area? So I do eventually get it to a good spot with these items. I don't know why I'm like, you know what? It needs a fountain. There should be a fountain in this house somewhere. So we do have a fountain by the front door, and I wanted to make it like simple Christmassy by adding these bows on the windows. I know that's like an easy way to make your house more Christmassy in real life, and so you know what? I'm gonna do this in The Sims because that seems fun and it's free. It's from the base game, so this build should cost you 0 real life dollars. I am using the holiday kit pack thing, but again, that is free year round, so you can download this house and everything will be free. You can consider this to be a Christmas present if you want, and if you want to return a Christmas present, you can hit the like and subscribe button. And if we get to 20 likes, I will do another base game build sooner than later. And so we are going to be now in the living room. I really wanted to use the new picture frame TV that came with the holiday login reward that is going on now. This is a reminder for those who have The Sims and want to save up like all the tasks to do in one go. It's like probably going to be happening soon. So we are just going to be going for a mission style in this house. And I feel like I don't usually do like a specific style. And so I kind of forgotten some of these items, or I didn't like forget about these items, so just like kind of like glance past them. But since like I filtered through mission style and base game, like this is what came up. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of forgotten about these items. So we are just going to be making this living room kind of like a normal, like everyday living room, but I will be adding pillows later on to kind of bring in some Christmas cheer to this space. And one thing I really like about the picture frame TV is that there's not just this one swatch of like trees and snow. There's like fall leaves and like pumpkins. So it's like a multi-use item we can all use for different builds, and had to make sure I got in a Christmas tree for this house. I noticed I usually put the Christmas trees in my past builds like in the very front part of the house, like, in the front windows, and so I wanted to switch it up and put a Christmas tree kind of towards the back of the house. And I feel like the flow of this kitchen and this Christmas tree really works out. So you can see now we are in the kitchen, and I wanted to go for something kind of more high scale in a way, and so we are going to be adding some different like countertops that I don't normally use, and I'm having the island at an angle because I feel like it made the kitchen bigger in a way, just because it is a small kind of corner kitchen. I feel like having the island at an angle just kind of made the flow a little bit better to like not just be like closed off to one space. So we are just going to be adding some kitchen decorations soon. This home does have a washing or a dishwasher, which is something I don't normally add because I don't know why dishwashers in The Sims just don't really make sense, and they just are sometimes feel like they're in the way. And so we are now in the dining room. This was originally going to be the kitchen, but this area has too many angles, and so that's why I kind of switch swapped the kitchen with the dining room. And I knew at the beginning, I at least wanted to have 6 chairs around this dining space. So we are just going to be adding some red and green salt and pepper shakers. I don't know if you've seen my previous builds, but I have included the salt and pepper shaker and the pear picture in each build this month. So if you haven't seen my other builds this month, you can go back and watch those and see where I putted those items. So here we are going to be adding some pillows to make this space more Christmassy, and this is a nice idea to do in your own house in real life to make a simple space more Christmassy or more seasonal. So we are just going to be adding white and green pillows. I didn't want to add red because there's already red on the two-seater couch, and so I wanted to have green, wanted to make sure the green was represented into this room. And so now we are just going to be adding some more wintry decorations. And I do move some things slightly, so all the wreaths on the doors that you'll see, they do get moved to different locations. Like the ones on the back do get moved to be on the lights, on the outside lights, and the one on the front does get moved to an upper attic space. So we are going to be decorating this desk area and going to making this very simple. I try to add desks in different areas, or like not just always have a desk in like an office space, but to have a desk in like a more open space. Now we're just going to be adding some pictures, and then we're going to go back into the dining room to add some plants. I realized that like needed something more in the dining room, and I feel like having some greenery to kind of break up all of this beige helped. And so I do add a cactus because I felt that would be fun since they are in the desert to have a cactus. So we are just going to be going back into the kitchen, going to be adding just a few more things onto the counter, and then we're going to be heading into the back mudroom area. And this is honestly just a space I didn't fully know what to do with. Like I knew I wanted to have an entrance through the master or the primary bedroom, but I didn't want that to be like the sole entrance into the backyard. So I kind of came up with a mudroom idea, and now we are in the front of the house. This is a room I designed for a teenager, and I did try to keep this room kind of generic, so it'll be easy for you to add your own Sims personality into this space. I did this kind of more generic room, but then I feel like the second bedroom is a little bit more specific. I designed that room for two children girls, and so I wanted to make sure that this sim had a desk in their room. I feel like with them being a little bit older, they would be able to do their homework on their own, but maybe like the two children girls might need to have a little bit of assistance with their homework, and so they like go to the countertop on the island and have one of their parents assist them with their homework. And I wanted to give this sim a little bit of an interest. So I'm like, I'm gonna add a guitar into this room so they can kind of have a skill building item. And I wanted to kind of disguise the closet. If you have the get together pack, you would also have this item where it's like a closet's built into the wall. But since this is a base game only build, I didn't have that option, and so I ended up going with a closet that kind of matches the wall color, and I feel like that turned out pretty well. Just trying to still get that like idea across, but like not have any packs in this build or any packs you have to pay for. So we are just going to be adding some posters and going to be adding some items onto the side table. And now we are in the second bedroom, which is designed for the two children, girls that I was talking about earlier. At first, I was like, okay, maybe a child and a toddler, but I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to like have to have a bathtub in this house. Although I did add a bathtub into the primary suite. So if you do want to have a toddler in this house, you can have a toddler, and then they just have to get bathed in the primary bathroom. But I wanted to have two children, and so we are just going to be adding a lot of fun items. I kind of like settled with the placement of the beds, and then I was just kind of like, okay, now how much kid stuff can I get into these rooms? So we are just going to be adding some pictures and going to be adding a lot of different decals and posters for these rooms to kind of like give a little bit of personality from sim to sim. And so we are just going to be adding some pillows behind the beds just to kind of give it a little bit more cushion. I wanted it to look like a built-in cushion into the headboard, and so we are just going to be decorating each wall with a fun wallpaper, just kind of brighten up the space. I didn't want it to be all one note on the walls, and so that's why kind of helped me decide to go with this wallpaper on each side. And now we're just going to be adding a rug and going to be trying to find a place for this dollhouse. And that part kind of took me a while, and then I got distracted by adding these presents underneath the tree. And they're just purely decorative. Your Sims can't like add presents or like open presents unless you have the seasons pack. So we are just going to be adding the dollhouse in here, and since it is a smaller space, I decided to make it as small as possible so your Sims can still like get to the art table, but they can still like play dolls. Everything is still functional. So we are just going to be adding a few different items to each side table. One has a soccer ball light, one has a robot light, and then they both have tissues, I'm pretty sure, on their side tables. One might have a stack of books. So we are just going to be adding a violin, and I was like kind of trying to decide if I should add a violin. It just seemed a little too busy, and maybe it's like they'll have a violin skill once they are older. So now we are in the bathroom. This is like the hallway bath and the bathroom that will accommodate the two bedrooms that you have already seen. So this is a very simple space. I didn't want to go too crazy in here, so we are just going to kind of be lining everything up on this wall and going to just be adding all the bathroom essentials like a mirror, a towel rack, soap dispenser, and now we're just going to be adding a rug, and we do also add a little like tower for like bathroom extra, like I imagine that's like where the extra toilet paper would be hold, and maybe like extra shampoo and stuff. So we are just going to be going into the primary bedroom now. First, we're just going to be adding different bows onto the windows to bring it all the way around. No window was unbowed during the making of this video, so we are just going to be starting off the actual bedroom with a dresser and with a bed. I wanted to go for a festive pattern on this bed, and I thought this like flannel looking kind of was perfect. So we are just going to be adding some curtains, and I feel like I made this room a little too big, and I was like happy with it at the beginning, but then at like kind of towards the end of designing this room, I'm like, okay, what do I do with all this extra space? And so you'll see I have a fireplace mantle that I will be putting but in the corner between the windows and the door to the backyard. So first we're just going to be combining these four curtains to make it look like two very large curtains. And I really liked this design. I don't remember where but or who did it, but I did see this on Instagram and like how they made these curtains look larger. So we are just going to be adding the mantle like I mentioned, and I wanted to tie in some more Christmas colors. I didn't really do that throughout the whole house, but I was thinking maybe these parents like always have like a green like furnituring, but then since it's Christmas, they're like, well, let's mix it up this year and have some Christmas bedding. So we are just going to be adding another picture TV above the fireplace, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe this would be like a fun place for like the parents to game together, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't really like how that looked. I liked how it looked clean mantle and just have little candles for like the fire, quote unquote. And so we are just going to be making it a little seating area for the parents and going to be adding a little plant in the corner. I think I actually had two plants in the corner. Yeah, I do add two plants in the corner. So maybe they have a little bit of a green thumb for plants. And now we're just going to be adding some final details in this space and throughout the house. This is like the last room you'll be seeing, and then we're going to be going into the backyard. So we're just going to be adding a sink and mirror, and then the toilet is in its own separate room. So we are just going to be adding some rugs so your Sims don't slip, and we are finishing up this bathroom, just going to be adding a few final details. And now we are in the backyard. I knew I wanted to have like a grill slash eating area, and I also want to make sure that there is like a lounge area. But most importantly, I wanted to make sure there is room for a swimming pool. I have not yet tried the curved pools up until this point, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it today. This is going to be the first curved pool I have done, and I really liked how it turned out. So we are just going to be adding a table in between of the lounge chairs and going to be adding some towels at the foot of the lounge chairs. They just seemed kind of realistic to have some towels in the lounge chairs, and so we are just going to be wrapping up this video. If you enjoyed watching, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I would love to go into the year 2025 with 100 subscribers, and we are so dang close. If you want to play in this home, you can find all the information down in the description, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!